everyone. Welcome to This Day and happy Friday to you. It is October 22nd. We don't have any meetings to tell you about today, so we'll just jump to who's on our show. Now, Kaiser Permanente, we sat down with a couple folks from there and we talked to them about generic medication. It's really important to understand the difference between a generic and the actual name brand, so we thought we would show that today. And there's also a Take Back Medication Day that's coming up in the next few weeks, so we wanted to let you know about that. Then also, many of us like to walk on the golf cart path, but there are some safety things that you need to consider. So Tom McRae will go over all those safety measures for us to make sure we are safe on the golf carts or the golf cart path. All right, let's take a look at our weather. We are overcast right now and we are clearing up, partly cloudy later today. We are looking at temperatures not too warm today, but absolutely delightful, 70, 55. Then tomorrow we're looking at 68, 57, partly sunny. Same thing for Sunday, 72, 55. But Monday, we are going to have some cloudy skies with an 80% chance of rain. So it's most likely we will be getting that rain in the afternoons, and we'll keep you apprised of that. 64, 57 for Monday, and then Tuesday, partly sunny, 66, 54. Now, if you are traveling in California, we have a couple of numbers for you. Our beaches look pretty good, 68, 55, Santa Barbara, 67, 53, and San Diego, 66, 55. However, if you are traveling to the north, you want to be careful about Tahoe because they are going to have rain and snowstorm, and there is travel advisories. So it is, they advise you to make sure that you look for road closures because there could be some potential flooding because of the fires that they had up there. Then in Mammoth, they are also going to be getting rain and snow, so you're going to want to check the conditions up there as well. 43-30 in Tahoe, 48-29 in Mammoth, Big Bear 56-33, Palm Springs 82-61 in Las Vegas, 77-54. All right, our sunrise was at 7:02 this morning, and our sunset will be at 6:08. And Alan, thank you so much for sending in this beautiful photo. And if you have a photo you'd like to share with us, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we come back, we will have Kaiser Permanente, so stick around.
At Norm Reeves Honda Superstore Irvine, we want to buy your car. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, we come to you. On-site professional appraisals now available at your home or office. 2, you come to our dealership just minutes away for an on-the-spot appraisal. 3, value your car online at normreeveshondairvine.com. It's your choice. Plus, you get paid in 1 day or less. At Norm Reeves Honda Superstore in the Irvine Auto Center, we will buy your car.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dr. Bobby Davari and Dr. Carolyn Patel, who are here on behalf of Kaiser Permanente. Well, welcome both of you to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Now, this has always been a very interesting subject for a long time, is the importance of generics. And oftentimes, you know, we can't tell when we're going to get a generic or when we're going to get the actual name brand. So this is a great discussion. Before we get into that, though, I'd love to learn just a little bit about both of you. So Dr. Davari, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a family physician by training. I've been with Kaiser Permanente for about 20 years. And one of the other hats I wear is that I chair our Pharmacy and Therapeutics Committee for Kaiser Permanente in Orange County. And so I oversee the medications that we use and the medications we decide to use as our preferred medications for our patients. And Carolyn Patel, who's joined us, is our drug education coordinator. She's a pharmacist by training. And really, I would say that she's the brains behind the operation. She knows all the details of the chemical structures of the medications, the studies that support their usage, and me and her serve together on the committee that looks at these drugs in detail and helps to decide whether Kaiser Permanente is going to be using these medications. So we look at the evidence for the medications together, us as well as 15 other doctors and pharmacists. We sit in a room together once a month and look at these medications and make sure they're the very best medications on the planet, so we can use them for our patients.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. Carolyn, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so as Dr. Davari said, I'm a pharmacist. I do work with Dr. Davari very closely at the Pharmacy and Therapeutics Committee. I have been a pharmacist for about 20 years. And really my main role is to look at our medications that we use at Kaiser. I'm very excited to share, about generics versus brands, because that's one of the main roles that we do here at Kaiser. We do review generic, and we really believe and promote generic to our members because we think it really is the best bang for your buck, so to speak, and without compromising any quality. So I'm very excited to be here as well. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. That's really good to know, because I think oftentimes, including myself, our seniors are looking to save money because, the medications that are out there can be very expensive across the board. So this is great to know that there are committees like yourselves that definitely go through the process. So tell me a little bit about what a generic generally is.
So the way our system works is that we have a patent system, right? So if somebody develops a medication that's very effective, they get a monopoly, a patent on that medication, and they get to be the sole producers of that medication for a number of years. And then once that patent runs out, then other companies can make the same drug, and the FDA reviews that molecule when another company makes it to make sure that it's the exact same. And that's a generic drug. A generic drug replaces a brand name drug, but is equally effective. And the FDA won't let a company produce the drug unless it's been proven to be as effective as the brand name medication. So that is what a generic is. And Carolyn, if you want to add anything there, please do. She will know significantly more detail than I would if you want to talk about the FDA and how they're involved.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. Generics are really the same as brand. They can be created once the patent expires. And they have to prove that they have the same active ingredient, the same effectiveness, quality, safety, strength, benefits. And the manufacturer who makes the generics also have to be audited by the FDA to make sure that they do abide by, their manufacturing practices that are upheld by the FDA. So Dr. Davari, you're absolutely right. And it's just labeled simply as, generic and not the brand name because of patent.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this. So the coverings, sometimes the exterior of some of the generics is different than the main brand. Why is that?
So remember, in America, we respond really well to marketing. And so,
where are you going with this?
Right. So we respond really, really well to marketing, and that's why the brand name drugs tend to cost more. They have a giant marketing budget. They have also paid a lot of money for the research and development of the medication, and so the generic companies don't have that. They're making their money on volume, and so they charge much less for the medication and hope to sell more units. And so the analogy would be a car would get you from point A to point B. You don't need a Ferrari. But in this scenario, it would be two Ferraris. They work exactly the same. You're just paying 3 times more for the green Ferrari versus the red Ferrari. They're the same. And so we sometimes have these amazing new medications that work amazingly well. And then once their patent runs out, you still get to have that same medication. It may be a different color. So it just doesn't make sense for our patients, and really any patients, to pay 3, 4, 5 times more just for a different color packaging or different color pill.
Right.
But this is not a small point. People have proven that that if you have a pill that's red, patients tend to think it works better than a pill that's blue, or vice versa. I can't remember the exact. Carol, do you know that? Have you heard that research? I can't remember. But like, people really respond to color. Like, the color is a really big deal. And so, you know, the generic companies, they don't have a huge marketing department to sit down and think about what logo to put on there, and, you know, what, you know, what color to make the pill, and so on.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who, you know, is on a fixed income, you don't really care. You just want to get from point A to point B, and you don't care what color the Ferrari is. You're in a Ferrari and you're good. Yeah. Or, you know, in my case, a Toyota Camry. It doesn't matter. So it's just getting you from point A to point B, and that's all that matters.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to know, because I always wondered what some of the differences would be. Now, in terms of cost, well, before I go to that, tell me, how long does the patent usually last?
Oh, Carol's going to know that answer, but I think
average, the average from, you know, when they apply, because they have to do a lot of studies, is about 20 years. But that doesn't mean from the start of marketing. It really is from the time they start studying or finding an active ingredient, but they still have to prove effectiveness. Yeah. So I would say, you know, less than 20 years, but from inception to marketing, it's an average of about 20 years. Although we may say that for marketing, it's probably around 10 years, meaning the patent, while it's now available to the patient, is probably half of that, 10 years or less.
Oh, okay. So does that mean then for 10 years, we would be paying for the main brand and not a generic?
Correct.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does it ever happen where the generic falls out and then you have to go back to the main brand?
Actually, that does happen. Sometimes and that's happened more recently. And I think Carol would also be able to comment a little more on that. There are some of these companies that stop producing the generics for whatever financial reason that's going on, and then we have shortages, and then we have to go back to the brand name. Carol, can you think of an example of that?
An example when a generic is discontinued?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, more recently than ever. And I think it's because sometimes they don't see a lot of profit from making the generic. So it is really, after all, it is a business. And so they do, you know, we have heard of instances where the generics companies, they do discontinue it because of not having enough revenue to continue to market it. Right,
right. Oh, it's just so interesting. And I didn't even realize that there were councils like yourselves that sit down with all of this. Now, I understand, Carolyn, that you are in charge of educating the doctors on all of this. Approximately how many drugs each time you meet with them do you have to talk to them about?
Well, you know, I am fortunate that at Kaiser Permanente, you know, we do have it's not just me, we do have a team of pharmacists and doctors who do review our generic use. And so there could be, you know, 10s or 20s or hundreds of generics, but at Kaiser, we do believe that we have to look at the best generic that we can have, what we can offer to our members. And what do we mean by that? So when the generic becomes available, we want to make sure that the company that we're contracting with follow all the manufacturing, you know, guidelines set by the FDA, that they have a good financial responsibility, so they wouldn't just shut off and discontinue their generics. Right. After that, we also look at the data that they have regarding their generics. And what that means is that, you know, we want to make sure that what's so-called availability or bioavailability data is that it's as close to the brand results as possible, so that when we switch our members from the brand to the generic, they're not going to be feeling, you know, any of these major changes. So we really try to make sure that they're close to our to the brand as possible. Okay. And after that, we present it to a whole host of our chiefs of physicians who may be using these drugs to get their buy-in, because we want to make sure that our doctors are also comfortable and believe in our generic products. Okay. And then after that, we then, you know, implement it to all of our Kaiser Permanente programs. So
Okay.
it's not just something that, hey, it's the cheapest, we'll use it. It's actually, there's a lot of people behind
Right.
studying and making sure that it is approved. And ultimately it goes to our P&T, where Dr. Davari is a member, to approve these generics.
Yeah, so P&T means pharmacy and therapeutics. So we have a whole committee that looks at these medications as they become generic. And so we have an added layer in addition to the FDA to look at the efficacy of these drugs to make sure they're actually the same.
Okay.
So we go the extra step, and Carol is instrumental in doing that, is to go the extra mile to make sure that not only does the FDA approve it, but we want to do a second layer of double checking to make sure that not only do we approve it, but do the doctors that are on the front lines using the medications, do they agree with what the FDA's conclusions have come to? Because it's not enough for us just to take the generic just because it's generic.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, pretty unique to Kaiser Permanente versus other health plans. We really go the extra mile. And Carol is being very nice here. She has to talk to dozens of doctors a day to re-educate, especially when we see resistance to changing from brand and to generic for whatever reason. And oftentimes the doctors just simply didn't know. They weren't aware that the efficacy or the effectiveness of these two medications are the same.
Yeah.
And then when they see the numbers, they're really blown away. A great example of that is brand name Prozac versus generic Prozac. That's a great example. So, for example, that medicine, and Carol, you can correct me on the exact numbers, but the brand name now Prozac's been around for 60 years or something. I can't remember, forever. It's been around forever, and the generic has been well studied. We know it works just as well. But if you prescribe brand name Prozac, the monthly bill for that is something like $400 or $500, and for generic Prozac, it's like 11 cents a month. I'm exaggerating, but what do you know the exact numbers off the top of your head, Carol?
You know what? It's been a while since I looked at it, but I think you're right. It's like $1 or $2 per month for the generic.
Right. But that's also because of the insurance and that you guys are able to provide for your members a good quality prescription plan, which is great, because, sometimes people's plans don't cover their prescriptions, and then they're, ending up really scrambling. So that's awesome. Yeah, you guys have a great plan over there, and the members, I'm sure, appreciate all the work that goes into your plan. So awesome. I love this topic. This was a great discussion. Thank you for all the information.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Okay, hello, my name's Tom McCrae. I'm the Golf Operations Manager here at Laguna Woods Village. There's been a hot topic currently with the GRF boards and with conversations around the community with access to the paths around, in and around the golf course, and its safety. We wanted to kind of go over that today and kind of give everybody an idea about what is safe and what is not, what is approved and what is not. And when you are doing something that maybe we don't necessarily recommend, on how best to do it. Historically, what the perimeter path has been called is from this point here, which is right by the pickleball courts, the path that goes outside the perimeter of the golf course that ends up over at Clubhouse 4, at the Arts and Crafts Center at Clubhouse 4. That has been historically the use by pedestrians and people using their personal golf carts to navigate from that side of the property over to the other side of the property in as safe a manner as possible. Keeping in mind, and we'll go out there and we'll take a look, keeping in mind that those areas are actually on the playable parts of the golf course. And as there aren't a lot of professional golfers playing here, the golf balls will tend to go in areas that they're not intended. Actually, most golf balls that are hit in a direction that they're not intended, and they're coming very close to people that may be walking onto the golf course. So what we're going to try to cover today is just the overall idea of how to use those paths, what we recommend doing and not doing, and kind of giving you an overall idea so you can be safe while you're out there. Okay, hello again. This is the Y in the road leading up from the 9th hole at course number 3, and this is where a lot of people don't want to follow the signs. From a safety standpoint, if you are playing golf on course number 3 at the time, and this is your hole, you're going to go off to the right, and that's how people are going to actually start playing the hole. If you are not a golfer or you are not golfing yet, if you have not checked in for your tee time, make sure that you travel to this side, to the left side of the path. This way you're going to be behind the netting and you're not going to be in danger of getting hit with golf balls. So please make sure that as you drive around, if you're a golfer playing the golf course, a pedestrian, or a non-golfer just heading up to Stater Brothers, make sure you follow the signs to be safe. Okay, one other point that we have an issue with from time to time is people that are trying to go across the golf course to get back to the clubhouse or get to the tennis courts, whatever the case may be, driving through the middle of the golf course. And that's something that, number one, it's a big safety issue. It's also a course wear issue because you're going to run into people that are occupying the cart paths that are playing the golf course. That's how it's designed. We have a system in place for you to get from one end of the property to the other, and it is the perimeter path. So if you see this sign, if you are going to the clubhouse or you're going to play course 3, please follow the perimeter path on the left. It is not allowed to go through the middle of the golf course by going to the right and trying to go up the middle of the course. There's golf balls being hit, there's carts that are going to be in the way, and we just ask that you make sure you follow the perimeter path. It's really not that much farther, it's not that much inconvenience. So please make sure you're following the signs. Okay, this is our main area of concern. This is an area that's heavily trafficked by pedestrians and people getting from one end of the property to the other. This is the 16th hole or the 7th hole on course number 2. And this is the par 5, and as you can see from looking behind me, we're very, very close to the playing of the round of golf. I have somebody right behind me about to hit a ball, and it's very close to the sides of the fairway. So this is why we don't recommend using this as a pedestrian path. If you can look slightly off to my left, the white line on the border of this path is actually the edge of the golf course. So all of this area is actually on the playable parts of the golf course. I don't know how many people watch a PGA Tour event online, or on television, and you'll actually see tour professionals, the best in the world, firing balls into the gallery where the gallery would be in an area just like this. So as you're in this area, just know that we have signs posted to beware of flying golf balls, and just know that at any moment, I'm actually a little worried right now, so I got one of the sound guys watching my back while we stand here. As you can see, there's a player right here that does not have to hit that poor of a shot to come into this area. So please, your judgment would be your judgment, but right now we recommend not using this area. Okay, everybody, and while we don't recommend using this path for pedestrian traffic, exercise, walking your dog, and things like that, if you do choose to do that, there are a few things that we'd like to point out to keep you safe and to actually help the golfers still enjoy their round of golf. What you can see behind me is you can see some players about to strike a ball. As you're walking down the path, I just ask that you look in and you watch the people that are about to strike a golf ball or are in the process of striking a golf ball, and there's some different tricks that you can take to be safe. If you see somebody, as she's about to hit a golf ball down there, is to stand where you're standing, stop, wait, and watch. And as soon as you see that golf ball traveling, you'll get a good sense of where that golf ball is going to go. And if it's coming right at you, you can take a moment to simply move out of the way. Now I see that ball and it's a little bit short, so I'm actually in good shape. Now, if you do that for just enough time and you're watching until everybody's hit, once you see everybody hitting and either getting out their pull cart and starting to walk or getting in their golf cart and starting to drive, that's the time when you can continue to walk because nobody's striking a ball. Just know that all the golfers that are playing and they tee off in 8-minute intervals. And this golf course is extraordinarily popular. There are people, if we were to pan around and we'll get some B-roll of the golf course, and you'll see that it's very, very full all the time. So there's going to be group after group. So to be safe, you're going to wait. Now you see the golf carts traveling. Now you see her driving her golf cart up here. At this point, that's when I would start to walk. And I would keep an eye to see if somebody is going to hit a shot there. Then I can walk by them safely. And also, as you come up as you're walking around the golf course or driving your cart, a common occurrence we just call it poor etiquette, is if you come up on a golf hole, the starting point is called a teeing ground. And if somebody's about to hit their tee shot, or somebody's about to hit a shot on the fairway, don't drive up behind them, don't walk up behind them. What we ask you to do is to come up, and you see they're about to hit, is just stop and wait. And as soon as all the players in that group have hit, then it's safe to walk, then you follow them down the fairway. And always keeping an eye on where they are so they're not hitting a golf ball behind you. Those are the safety points to operating in this area, but again, we don't recommend it because golf balls generally are not going to go where they're designed, and this area is actually quite condensed, and you'll end up in a very dangerous situation.
Welcome back. Well, our movie for today is called Moonlight Mile, and you can see that today, 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that's brought to you by Advanced Ear Care. And then, as I mentioned, there will be a Take Back Day for medication, which will be tomorrow. And it's called the Take Back Medication Day, October 23rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you would like to know what location, type in takebackday.dea.gov. All right, let's take a look at our weather before we head out. We are looking at overcast skies this morning through this afternoon, and we are looking at temperatures of about 70, 55, partly cloudy, and you can see the rest of the week we are getting rain by Monday. And if you're traveling in the state of California, take a look at these numbers. And if you're traveling up to Tahoe, be careful in that area as there are travel advisories. All right, we'll be seeing you again tomorrow right here at 9 a.m. Have a great Friday. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.